live.
Hey, we're live. I
We
should turn the other
live.
camera on. Turn both cameras on now. Let me see here. There we go. You know what? Whenever you switch this camera over to 1080, holy crap, is it ever bright? I should turn my lights down. How's everybody doing? We got Beresford. We're building up our crew in the UK, eh?
Apparently, yeah.
Beresford. I know you've told us this. You're probably from a place called Beresford, I'm guessing, or he's from somewhere else. Let me know. I like it, UK. Let us know where you're from as well. SR375 in the house. Thinking I don't bathe. That's a dude thinks I don't bathe. That's just flat out. Lighting. Where the hell? Citus Link. I hate Citus Link.
I do too. I just had to fumble around with it. Get this thing turned on.
Oh, I got to agree to the privacy policy. Log in. Oh my god. No,
yeah,
I can't.
yeah,
no, yeah. I'm not doing it. I'm not doing it. Yeah. North Wiltshire.
Remember when
UK?
you could just like press a button on something and it would, and then the thing would change. You just press the button on it, and now it got to update an app.
Well, they need all your information to sell off, and then then okay, now you can change your lights. North Wiltshire, UK. I'm not even going to pretend I know where that is.
Nope.
The UK is huge. Afternoon from Southern California. Don. Hopefully everything's going okay down there. I admitted to wearing a year-old shirt. Well, the shirt had been washed in between, to be fair. I do bathe the odd time as well. The odd time. I'm horrible for shaving though, and I've been noticing that more and more. Like it's one of those things that you can take the time to do it. Like I've never been a big on shaving. I rarely ever like use an actual razor on my skin.
Yeah.
Because my skin gets all splotchy and gross when I shave it. So
yeah, I'm the same. My skin's very sensitive to it.
Yeah. Cologne, Germany. I do know where that is. Steve, how's it going, buddy? How's everybody doing? Dog Days of Winter are here, and I've got we're gonna kick this off here with a little bit of a poll. Oh, Hayden is the definition of odd. Oh man.
How do you take
Dylan,
that?
who's more odd than us? You or me?
Me. Oh, 100%.
You think you're quirky? Yeah, you think you're quirkier than me?
Oh yeah, big time.
I have to shave, but Braun is so much better than lift and bleed system.
Oh yeah,
the lift and bleed. Yeah, I get that.
Yeah.
I'm quirky. I'm more. My persona is more weird. Me personally, I'm a lot quieter than I come across on the channel. I'm not.
I feel like that's kind of broadcast standard. Like how many most on-air people are introverts, I find.
Give your little pod a little shuffle there. Just give it a little shuffle. Just no, it's okay. It's working. The deoxit's working its way through.
It's just working and doing its thing.
Yeah, it's still a little scratchy, but that's okay.
Before this stream, it's got to dry.
Whatever. Yeah. So yeah, you're right. It is kind of the distinguishing feature of anybody that's been an on-air host or has like on-air personalities is I'm a lot quieter. I'm a lot more introverted than I am on camera. And I'm not a big fan of a lot of people, but odd. Yeah, I guess I am pretty odd, or at least that's what my wife tells me. But I think Dylan is just a little quirkier than me, just a touch. But I mean, that's not saying much.
I sit here as I repeatedly mash buttons in front of the world.
We're fine. No major fires near us, though. We had one close by that they got on quickly. Good to hear, Don. That's just horrible what's going on down there. That's a ton of distortion. Yeah, it was. Dylan just deoxidated one of his the problematic pot that he's dealing with.
Yeah.
So Beresford's a Londoner.
Oh, nice.
I love London, man. I wish I could live in London. London was one of those places that just had me awestruck, but then I know I couldn't afford to live there. God help me.
No. Yeah, no.
The odd and quirky stream. We, the audience, fit in with that too, right? I mean, well, I think you have to be a bit odd and quirky to be into audio. That's the odd in audio, I think. But no, you do kind of have to. I think there's a certain type of person that one is into any kind of conceptual content creation. any kind of content creation. If you're an audio, if you're a podcaster, for you to be relatively successful, you need that oddity to you. I don't see many well-balanced human beings that are just fantastic at content creation. And that's not a shot at people. It's just this is kind of what you need. You need that little bit of a quirk to you in order to sit in an empty room. There's nobody else in this room with me and pretend like I'm actually talking to somebody, which it's not even like you're on the phone because I can't hear people in the other side except for Dylan. So I can talk to Dylan, but me talking to Liberty Dude, he's not here. I can't hear him talking to me, but I'm addressing you as if you are. It takes just a little bit of insanity, I think, to be able to do that. It's the same thing with radio when you're like, hey guys, 6:10 in the morning, and you're, give me a call, and to be talking in an empty room as if they're there with you. Yeah. And to be able to maintain that over a period of time, it's not easy. And I think there's some truth to that. SR375 says, I'm odd. Yeah.
Amen to that.
Cheers, DJ Play Nice. How's you going, man? So I was going to put this up. We've got a poll. I've got to switch over to this, and I'm just going to be putting the poll up here. Start the poll. Now, while this is going on, I just want to discuss kind of the concept behind this poll. Can everyone see it? I think everyone can see it. It's funny. It doesn't show on the StreamYard app.
Yeah, I was going to say it doesn't show on my thing either.
The concept behind this is Dylan and I were talking after the stream last week, and Dylan had some unfortunate news. Obviously, if you've been following along, Dylan was let go from his job a couple months back, and we had plans to go to NAB together in April, and I was going to be footing the bill for some of it, but me footing the bill for all of it was, I don't know how tough of an ask it is, but I can guess that it's not going to be the easiest thing in the world. And so we got talking and how we can do it. And I was kind of like resigned to the idea that, hey, Dylan, I'm just going to have to buy you a last minute plane ticket if I can. And then when we got off the live stream and I went and I was eating dinner, I thought, wow, you know what a great idea would be is a GoFundMe. And maybe we can raise enough money to get the ticket and set a low bar of like $1,000 to finance Dylan's time at NAB, and whether or not it would go through, I think we would be able to do it. I want to know what people think. I know it's not an easy thing asking for money. It really isn't, because
it feels weird. It feels weird. I don't like it.
It's not the greatest thing in the world, but also at the same time, I feel like our content from NAB would be so much better if you're there. There's so much more in the show that you would appreciate as well, and you might be able to translate for viewers. Like, there's a lot of stuff that I kind of pass by because I'm like, well, for me to actually get down and like to kind of break down some of these products for going over a video, I don't have the time, and I won't be able to do that. So I think having you there would probably benefit the content quite a bit. So anyways, I'm going to see what everybody thinks. Oh, damn. I like UK. I was let go from my job on Tuesday this week. I'm sorry, dude. That sucks.
Yeah, that's shitty. It's the time.
Were you into IT? I believe you were. Jesus, man. That sucks, man. I'm so sorry. That's brutal. That is also a shitty time to be laid off, man. Companies, whenever they're like coming up against a quarter, they really know how to fuck your life over.
Well, when the books are getting too off kilter, and they gotta course correct, that's ugly. It never is a good thing.
Okay, you're distorting again here. Let me just double check, make sure you're okay. Keep talking here. I want to see it come through. Just making sure we're not blown through. Yeah, your levels are fine, and just check your audio settings in here too, Make sure we didn't.
Well, let me check. I think they're fine.
Make sure that little automatically adjust mic volume is not checked.
Yeah, that's off. That stayed.
Okay, yeah, you just got a little bit of distortion there, so maybe wiggle your knob a bit. Right on camera too.
I'm good at wiggling the old knob there.
SR375 says Ken donate some Sky Miles. Oh, that's sweet. I don't know how that would. Yeah, I wonder if that works the same for Canadian Airlines. Yeah. Well, it can't hurt. I don't know enough about such things to know if they are effective. They can be very effective. There's actually people that all they do is they go around GoFundMe and they just drop money on things. They just, boom, here's some money. And what happens is if you don't raise the total, the money just goes back to everybody. So, and the one thing I wanted to do with the GoFundMe, and this is what I kind of came up with, is I'm going to raise X amount for Dylan to go to Vegas. If we raise more, like if we surpass the total, what ends up happening is it would just go to Dylan to pay for him to work with me. Because Dylan still to this day, because this channel kind of went flat last year, doesn't pay Dylan. Dylan comes and hangs out and plays on videos all through his own volition and his own time. And I would love to bring Dylan on as a paid actor on this program, but that's going to need a few things to fall in place before that happens. So that was the goal. Like if we went over our total, everything would just go to Dylan to finance him, playing along in some videos here. And that way it's a little easier for him to set aside his time to be a part of the content, because like Dylan's focusing on so many other things right now. And it's kind of hard to say, hey, Dylan, work on this video. No, don't look for a job. No. I need you to work on a video.
Buddy, just hang on, eat the tuna fish sandwiches for a couple more months.
Like sometimes like when I get a good idea and I'm like, hey, Dylan, you want to do this? And he's like, yeah, I do. And but sometimes you kind of lose, I get so engrossed in the concept that sometimes it's hard to remember that, like, okay, when I can pay Dylan, dude's going to be paid well. Don't you worry about that. I like it, UK. I was in IT. I'm sorry, brother. That sucks so bad. I really hate holiday staff changes. Done a ton of offboarding this year. Like anybody that works in broadcasting knows it all too well. And the holidays are always a time for companies to try to make their shareholders happy with bonuses. And sometimes those bonuses are literally your job. So they'll literally cut your job just for a bonus.
Yep.
And it's painful, man. It is absolutely painful. The question I would ask is, if you had an extra grand, would NAB ticket be the priority in spending it? Yes. If I had an extra $1,000, I would 100% put Dylan on a plane to bring him to NAB. 100%. It wouldn't even be a question. And that's why I said, like, if I could see 2 months ahead to make sure, like right now I could afford to send Dylan to NAB, but I'm also not on a place where 2 months away, if shit hits the fan and I've already paid for that ticket, well, now I'm regretting that decision, or I won't be able to afford something else. So like, I'm still in a position where I have to make sure that this house is taken care of and all that stuff. The odds are it shouldn't be a problem, but those odds, you can go so many different ways. It's wintertime, vehicles, all the things that might require money going forward. And again, Dylan will end up being a part of NAB if I can afford to. If I have that extra grand, I am 100% putting it on Dylan coming. I booked the hotel with the idea that Dylan was going to be there. It's a single room, 2 beds. But I mean, like, if I could, I would get him his own room so he doesn't have to look at my white ass in the morning. But other than that, like, I think it would be fun to see, what you and I could do together at NAB. Dylan.
Yeah.
Like, what do you think?
Yeah, no, 100%. I think, NAB would be a lot of fun. Having a second pair of hands with making content is just easier in general. So I feel as a result, we'll be able to probably get a lot more stuff, get a lot more depth, hopefully, from some of the stuff, some interesting conversations with people, even, just, I don't know, get some different content. Last year you were alone. And I mean, considering that, you were a solo operation, which a lot of people do, that you got a lot of content out of it and a lot of stuff that was, that turned out half decent, but having, again, that extra pair of hands, a camera op, somebody checking your audio while you're presenting, like all those little things, right?
Well, and you know what I mean? Just to have more of a communal brain on things too, right? Like a lot of stuff was just off the top of your head and go. And you're right. Like I did 4 videos, and those aren't easy. And I cut those in the press room at NAB, like on second floor, they have a press room there. And like I would go do my stuff in the morning, and then I would run up there and crush out a video and then post it from there, and then go back to my hotel and fall asleep. It was a ton of work. Like no doubt there was a lot of stress. It was
a lot of
fun as
running
well.
around. It's manic.
Yeah.
You definitely have to be in the right headspace for it. But yeah, I think we get a lot of cool stuff.
George Takei voice. Oh my. Hint, if you do share a room, wear pants to hide the white ass. Well, that's also part of the problem, man. Sometimes you don't want to go, yeah, you know, you want to put the tidy whities away. Anyways, yeah, and like worst case scenario, I think I might do the GoFundMe. Looking at the numbers right now, we don't have a lot of votes on it because we have 12 people in the room here. Let me see what the votes are sitting at. 86 to 14. It's only 7 votes. So we'll see we'll see. We'll leave it up for the rest of the live stream just to see. I honestly think, what's that?
No, I say, yeah, to, you know, rest of the people to jump in.
I think it would be a lot of fun seeing things from your perspective as well. Some of the stuff there, like it's such a playground, and it's such a ridiculous playground.
Yeah, just the scope, like I think all these conferences have sort of broadened over the years. Like what used to be super specific to a certain industry, now everything is so interconnected. All the technologies and all the, you know, protocols and feature sets that, you know, you can't really just have like kind of a music audio conference, although they do exist. But everything now is kind of going, it's music, it's broadcast, it's podcasting, it's content creation, it's everything. And so, yeah, there's a lot of interesting companies coming to these things, trying to get some FaceTime with people.
Yeah. Wilf Clegg, appreciate the poll. However unnecessary, his ticket is covered. Wilf, I don't know what you're referring to. I hope you're rich, but you don't have to do that, dude. I appreciate that. But I will need clarification on that. I'm actually rather curious.
Yeah, we want to follow up on that.
There were companies there when I was when we were talking. There was one specific one that Dylan and I actually met with after NAB, and I really wish that there was more of a dialogue with Dylan there, because there was some conversations that, you know, like Dylan would have been a better contact for that with his strengths. And I think that would be kind of something fun to see, like when you reach out to certain companies and they want to see, like, there's always this like cohesive, what can we do for each other, rather than just like hey, give me stuff. There's always like a conversation around what can we do for each other, what kind of your content. And there's always almost like a barter system going on there, right? Where it's I met certain companies where they're like, hey, can we? And I'm like, no, I don't want your stuff because I'm going to destroy it on my show. But then you get a lot of like really good ones where you can build up relationships that will go, will take you much further. And it'll be a lot of back and forth. One of the ones I didn't actually touch base with DJI last year. Their booth was crazy, and their audio is such a small section of what they do. DJI is just such a huge company for everything that they do. So I do want to touch base with them, because I feel like when I'm reviewing, like I just got this in the Rode Wireless Go Gen 3. I just got these in the other day. Oh, I've got a Wireless Go 2 on that. The hell did I do? So I just got these in the other day, but I don't have perspective of some of the other Hollyland, is it? The other companies that I would like to actually start working with more, so I can have a more detailed and filled out review when I'm doing them, right? Like I can say, this one has this, the other ones do not, instead of speaking out of my ass and just like relying on going over the internet, because my personal experience would be much better. Liberty Dude, cheers, buddy, for the Dylan Tuna Sandwich Fund.
A lot of tuna sandwiches. That's at least 5.
That's at least 5, man. I got a can of tuna I can like send to you. Do you like the chunk light in water?
I don't. Like, I used to care. I don't care. Tuna's all the same to me now. I massacre it either way.
Since I lost my job, tuna's basically all the same.
Any of the tuna, damn tuna fish, bone in, bone out. I don't give a shit.
Liberty, dude, I really do appreciate the
Yeah,
support,
no, that's
brother.
awesome.
And
Man.
yeah,
Thank
we'll
so
make sure that goes to Dylan for two. I will literally take that and buy a bunch of tuna for it. Leave a couple dollars.
I mean, if there's things that I need worth $50, copious cans of tuna
and bread and mayonnaise. Come on.
Yep.
So I think like 10 cans of tuna with 4 loaves of bread and 1 thing of mayonnaise, and I think you're set for a good little while.
There we go, for a couple days anyway.
Don says tuna ain't as cheap as it used to be. I just bought some, and yeah, you're right. Also, I just went back, so I'm trying to find new proteins for, like, because I had to come off eggs because apparently my cholesterol was getting high, and so I had to cut back on the eggs. And so I was looking for a new protein for my lunches. I'm pretty dialed in when I find what I like and I basically eat that. And so I went back to tuna, and it's been years, like I would say 20 years since I had a tuna sandwich. Something's changed over those 20 years. The tuna I had was garbage in comparison. I used to love tuna back in the day. Anyways. It was tuna with onions, like raw onions in it, or it's anything for crunch, like cucumber. There's a lot of really good stuff that goes with tuna. When I was a kid, we ate it often. Yeah, tuna's awesome.
Yeah,
it's one of my favorites. Let's check on the. We're at 90% now, buddy. Yeah, so I think I am going to start it up. It's definitely not one of those things where people have to be a part of.
No,
definitely not going to.
Of all the things to donate money to right now, this is nowhere near the top of the priority list. I'm
hoping one of those people that like surfs GoFundMe and just drops like a couple grand,
stumbles across it. Yeah, well, I mean, if you make a compelling enough argument, you never know.
Yeah, I think that would be a lot of fun. Steve says, used to feed real tuna cans to my cat instead of cat food. It was cheaper. What does that say? Yeah, that's pretty sad, isn't it? There is a scary thing. We were doing the same thing with our cats years ago, but apparently the levels of mercury that are in tuna will basically make the mercury in your cat, and you can poison your cat with it, which is
especially if you're doing white tuna, which has the higher mercury content in it.
Wilf, I read your comment, brother. I'm guessing it's this one. Appreciate the poll. However necessary, his ticket is covered. I did read that.
We'll circle back.
Wilf, if you need to, if you want to air something out, I'm 100%. This isn't something we're if you need to, just send me an email if you don't want to air it out in the comments. But yeah, we appreciate that. Is absolutely an amazing offer, brother. I appreciate that. But yeah, if you want to air it out over email, my email is actually on the YouTube channel under About. It's Aiden@darkcornerstudios.tech.
We'll probably be chatting. I
mean, read his second comment. I don't see a second comment, buddy. Well, okay. Well, I'm gonna go check.
Go scan through the list there.
Yeah. Wilf, whatever your second comment was.
I was gonna say I'm not finding it. Yeah, I only see the one.
Let me check all live chat. We'll appreciate the poll. However necessary, tickets covered. Then Liberty Dude. Then Don, Steve, Wilf. Yeah, there. Wilf. I don't know why YouTube decided to suppress your comment.
Yeah, I'm not seeing
it. YouTube has decided to. If anybody else can see what Wilf's comment is saying, let us know, because we cannot see it here. We appreciate it. That is that's wild.
Weird.
I wonder if you triggered something in the that sucks. It might be a flagged comment. Let me see. There's no way to unflag comments in live chat though. Yeah, anyways, actually let me look. Is there a way to see flagged comments? I can pop out chat. Oh my God, that's so amazing. I never knew I could do that. What the hell?
Nice.
Oh my God. That is amazing. California. Yeah, I saw that one, buddy. Yeah, that's really weird. You might have been flagged for something, Wilf. Sorry about that. But yeah, definitely. I only use pop-out chat. Y'all have been hiding this from me.
What, the popping out of chat?
Yeah. There it is.
I don't think I've
oh,
ever
look
done
at
that
that.
either.
That is awesome. Damn. That literally changes my life, man. That literally changes my life. Now I have it also in StreamYard, but I have a feeling there's some things that don't quite filter through to StreamYard. I've had some weird interactions where I think that maybe it's stuff being flagged or whatever, but I'm not exactly sure. All right, let's look at this poll. 92%. Yeah, I think it's pretty much going to be everyone's saying yeah. So I think that's going to be a fun thing. It'll be fun if we can get Dylan there, and we will make sure, especially if you guys are going to be in Vegas for NAB, they usually have free entrance for people. Like, they try to get as many people through the halls as possible to kind of make it worth the while to have all the exhibitors there. So yeah, feel free if you guys are out there. We will definitely, if there's enough interest, we'll set it up where we can do like a meet and kind of do a little hangout there. That'll be a lot of fun. I'm excited for NAB, dude.
Yeah, it's gonna be fun.
Yeah. It looks like YouTuber races. Yeah, I think if you Beresford didn't know about pop-up chat either. Wilf, I think if you trigger a certain algorithm or it flags it for something, I think it will erase it. Like, usually I think it flags $ and stuff like that. So I don't know. I don't know exactly how it does.
Which is really funny to me because the same sentence we've had, like, we've had full on prawn accounts in here.
Yeah.
It's like,
do you really have to say prawn or corn just to avoid?
I don't know. I see enough content where people self-censor where I'm like, okay, maybe there's a reason. I don't know. So maybe I should do what they're doing.
Yeah, I guess so. I mean, we don't really do anything that needs to be self-censored, I don't think. Do we, no. Dylan? You're wearing pants, right?
We've had jokes on this on these shows. How many live streams? What percentage of our live streams do you think have been demonetized? I think there's been a few.
There have been a couple. We're not here for it.
No, and I know one of them was the cover when we aired the cover on the stream. I know that one got caught.
Yeah.
Which, whatever.
I'll look at it in a second. Wilf says why. It's actually it's an algorithm put in place to avoid bots. So
bots, spam commenting,
and usually if there's certain things that are in there that are just automatically shelved, I'm trying to find a way to get into the back door of those comments to set those up, but I don't know about live comments. I think live comments are kind of locked down.
Black box.
Yeah. So sorry, buddy. But again, you can either maybe reword the text and send it again, or we can again, you can send that to me through email and we can figure something like that out. That would be awesome. Yeah. Wow. This has been like a roller coaster here, man. Okay. I'm like, the ticket is covered by me. Dude, sure. That is incredible. I don't know what to say, man. That's just incredible. Cool. I just, that mind blown, man. Well, we'll cover this. I don't know how we're gonna do that. But we'll definitely
we'll figure it all out. We'll figure it all out another time. That isn't now.
Yeah. All right. Dog Days of Winter. Have you noticed that things have been really slow, Dylan? Like, I don't know, how have you been looking for work?
Not great. Not great. Had a few close calls, close encounters, but stuff happens. People go in directions, but not a good time for that. But again, I guess it depends what industry you're in. I mean, there's industries hiring, especially more corporate-y type jobs, but
yeah, King Paco.
Yeah,
how's it going, buddy?
G'day.
GoFundMe is for California. That's actually a good point. I know there's a lot of money filtering through there for California right now, which is a good thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've noticed everything dried up on me. It's really hard to stay motivated for stuff right now. I've got a video. I actually just shot the video for the wireless Gen 3, but I've got one thing on order from Temu. That's the interface you sent me. But other than that, man, it's been,
oh God, you ordered that. That'll be interesting.
Oh yeah, oh yeah, definitely. When a stream gets demonetized, it doesn't affect in-stream revenue. No, it does not. It just means if I turn monetization off, I don't think you can actually super chat. But when you get demonetized, all it does is it doesn't allow ads to play on it. That's it. So basically there will be no ad revenue, but these don't, there's absolutely no, ad revenue that comes from these regardless. It's so ridiculously low comments or views that it just I think 12-15 cents that comes from this. So I mean, whatever.
A negligible, yeah.
Got the Lewitt Ray for Christmas. That's actually a pretty sweet pickup, man.
Nice.
That Lewitt Ray's fun. I see a lot of people saying that was like the best thing from last year. I think it's awesome. I think it's one of the coolest things for like podcasting and stuff like that. I'm still I wonder about the dynamics of it, but it is really, really cool. It is very, very cool. Hit the like button. Cheers. Junk Gear Special, all Temu. I've wanted to kind of highlight stuff because with the prices of shit coming down, like it seems like the internals for a lot of interfaces are just kind of like dirt cheap now, and this is why you're seeing 32-bit float on some of the cheapest stuff, like 32-bit float on Rode Wireless Go, Gen 3. That's the kind of stuff that makes you realize that maybe some of the other features that we used to take for granted might actually be showing up on some of those super cheap ones. So I kind of wanted to bring it in and see whether or not you could get a decent experience off something from Temu. My breath is not being held because, good God, there's not even specs for it online. It's a 4-input interface for like $80 Canadian, that is. So it's up for Mic of the Year. Yeah, you know what? Lewitt really hit it out of the park with that. The Lewitt Ray was one of the coolest concepts that I think not enough companies are starting to look into that kind of stuff. Just to let them stand out in a crowd, right? Like there's so many people that were looking at separating themselves for voiceover professional use, but then there's so many people that are getting in and spending like $300-400 on a microphone where maybe they need some of those features. And for Lewitt to do that, it was pretty cool. I'm kind of curious to see what they're going to bring out after that. I try to avoid funding the Chinese government directly. Oh, I've never bought from Temu ever. I've bought one from AliExpress. I bought that cheap SM58 from AliExpress. And I don't buy anything after it. It's just more of like a fun kind of see what happens shit show. Beresford, question: if your video is demonetized and it gets claimed for copyrighted music, does whoever make the claim still get the ad money from the video?
100%. Yes, absolutely.
Well, it depends on what you're demonetized for. If you're demonetized for swearing, no.
I can assume it's the same rules that apply because I have a channel that's not monetized. I'm not part of the partner program, but as you know, a few years ago, I think Google changed their policies. So now they pretty much, they'll run ads in front of any video. The only difference is if you're monetized, you get a little bit of that money. Otherwise, Google gets all of it. But yeah, if I I've posted stuff that's gotten, predictably flagged as copyright material, like cover songs, for example, music videos for cover songs. And yeah, that revenue from that gets redirected to the copyright holder. So even the portion that goes to Google gets redirected.
Yeah. Unless
or percentage of it.
Unless you're flagged as adult content, so swearing too much, then they just don't run any ads on it because they want all of their ads need to quote unquote be family friendly. So like they don't want to, there was some horrible content that had like, you know, Walmart running ads beside some pretty brutal stuff. And then Walmart was like, yeah, if we're doing that, we're never going to buy ad space with you again. And YouTube was like, well, that's not going to happen. So now if they flag you for adult content and then it gets claimed by somebody else, it just doesn't make any money.
Yeah.
Most content claims though usually are revenue shares. Like our Hurt video still makes money. I don't know how much money I've made off of it, but it still makes mone.
Not as much as you would have made if you wrote that song.
Oh God, no. The Lewitt 1040, my dream mic won in 2022. Got a DJI mic mini for the Pocket 3, and it's so small. Yeah, I really want that mini mic. It looks so cool. I think it's a lot of the same as the Rode Micro. I haven't been hands-on with it. I really want to get hands-on with it. As for the 1040, I came on and I started gaining traction a little too late to get my hands on that. They sent those out to a ton of people. And that thing is a gorgeous microphone. I definitely wish I got that. I started 375. I have some good buys from AliExpress for various electronic components like ESP boards and Arduino stuff.
I would Arduino. I would trust
Arduino?
that.
What's Arduino?
I would trust. It's a microcontroller, programmable kind of.
Okay.
It's like a Raspberry Pi, but a little bit cheaper and not running like a full. Well, actually, I'm just gonna shut up. I've never used one, so I know what it is. I just I'm just gonna.
Yeah, fair enough.
You ever go down a path and you're like, all right, whatever comes up in the next rest of the sentence is completely made up. And then you're like, I'm rolling dog shit down the hill. Yeah. That's okay. Yeah, there's a clip of Bill Burr on Rogan, and they start talking about vaccine stuff, which we're not going to do. But Bill Burr calls him out. He's like, well, look at us. What are we, two guys sitting here with no medical degree talking about stuff we don't understand? And I'm like, yeah, 100%. That's exactly what that is.
That's us. Hello from Sofia, Bulgaria. Cool. I wonder, do we have other listeners from Bulgaria? Catching the stream live for the first time. Welcome, Konstantin. I'm glad you can make it, buddy. What time is it in Bulgaria right now? I don't even want to know.
I don't even
I'm guessing it's like after midnight. So cheers. We do actually have a lot of, I've been contacted by several people that watch us the next day or like over the weekend. And it's always cool to see because that means people are actually watching us, not for the interaction, but just for the entertainment value of it. Mm-hmm. And I like, it's humbling. It's awesome to see because the big selling point of this is we interact with everyone, right? I try to hit every comment.
Yeah. That's why this is here. We only expect this to be like a one-off kind of, you watch it when it's on and then it's gone kind of thing. But yeah, I've heard people circle back.
And like it doesn't get a ton of viewership after the fact, but there's like a couple hundred people that hit up the video after it goes live. So it's really cool. And again, if you're watching this after it was recorded, appreciate you hanging around because God knows adults that are crude or opinionated. I love this because God knows adults that are crude or opinionated don't shop at Walmart. Yeah, the swearing thing is antiquated for me. I think swearing is ridiculous. I think the idea that there are specific words in the English language that are a no-no are that you shouldn't say. I don't care if my kids swear, never have. They're randomly chosen words by the upper class of the 1800s that decided that you shouldn't use them because they referred to poo-poo or to sex. That is absolutely ridiculous. There are certain words that like derogatory terms and stuff like that I don't use. But I mean, swearing, it's so problematic that we would ever hold people to a standard to not swear. I think it's ridiculous. I think it's garbage. And I don't swear in certain company, but I swear in almost every other company. I swore at my kid's teacher. Like I was talking to them. We're having like one of the parent-teacher interviews. I was like, oh, fuck yeah. Oh man, you get some weird looks, but then what does it matter? Like it doesn't matter.
No, and especially I don't know, like cuss words, like when you and I were kids, very different times, but it was different than they are now. I feel like now with the prevalence of online content, like it's not as big a deal to hear a curse word. I mean, it's expected. Like if you're in a professional setting, that you're gonna withhold from that. I really don't. Language. Like if you're an employee, at, you know, at a company, or like, I don't know, if you were at a business meeting with Subway, you know, and it was a cold call. I don't know why you would be meeting with Subway. Um, but you know, there's probably a list of words to stay away from. George Carlin is illustrated most
Jared,
of them.
probably, yeah. Sorry, that's a deep cut. Beresford wants to know, so I can't make music, post it via DistroKid, make a video with excessive strong language with my song, and still get money via DistroKid if the video is claimed. I don't know how DistroKid works for monetization through YouTube. I like, if anything gets claimed as adult, I know music usually gets a bit of a pass. Like,
Well, yeah, because explicit content. You know,
yeah,
and
like,
they'll put a label on your thing that says explicit. Like in Spotify, you know, they'll some stuff makes it through, but for the most part, stuff gets labeled explicit as soon as they know it. And then
yeah,
it'll still make music, but it won't be circulated around as many accounts. Like you'll be hit on the reach most likely.
yeah. Like, I wonder if Walmart was bowing out of Wet Ass Pussy. Like, I seriously wonder if Walmart was like, we don't want our ads on that incredibly viral song. Can we not? Like, that's where it kind of pisses me off with swearing. And I remember watching a comedian compare "Baby It's Cold Outside" to Wet Ass
Yes,
Pussy.
yeah, with Wet Ass Pussy. Yes,
Yeah,
100%.
and it's so ridiculous that we can look at these through two different lenses at the exact same time and still stand by our guns. Swearing is bullshit. It's not something that we should be like. I mean, perhaps, you know, you don't drop the F-bomb around your grandmother, whatever, out of respect. But as we get older and we become the older generation, maybe we don't hold people to that standard, because it's ridiculous. My wife swore in her interview, her last interview for a job. She actually swore. She got the job. Like 10 years ago, you wouldn't be able to say that. 10 years ago, that would have never
you'd be
happened.
out on the spot. And I think it's, yeah, people are shifting, being desensitized to a lot of what, you know, people were more sheltered against, right? And now it's there's still a time and a place, I think. But you know, for the most part, I think your odds of offending somebody is like, you know, a tenth of what it used to be.
SR375. Oh God, please say way for that stuff. I think I think that was an old comment. I'm confused. 42 minutes after midnight, dude. Thanks for joining us. Hopefully you're not too tired. Yeah, yes, I watched the videos. That's cool to know, man. That is really cool to know. Audio harassment. What do you use to edit videos, or do you send them out for editing? I don't make enough money to actually have an out of office editor. At some point, I really would like to bring Dylan under. And if I do bring Dylan under, it's going to cost a lot more than what I do now. Right now, I use Final Cut Pro. Dylan uses DaVinci Resolve. And I use a lot of plugins from Motion VFX. And those plugins allow me to do all the fun little stuff that are in the video. They're relatively cheap comparatively. Like, I think I've got about $1,000 worth of plugins, which, considering I make money on them, it's not that big of a deal. But I also, I started,
I've picked up.
There goes Dylan.
What?
There you are. There you are. Okay. You picked up what?
What? I think there's a big lag between the time that I talk and you hear me. Yeah.
Interesting.
Because there's a few times where I've like started talking and then you'll start and stay. These is one of the reasons why doing this in person is so much more flowy and better energy.
Yeah. Also, getting you a roadcaster video is becoming very, very apparent that we need it. Also the yeah, so like when I started doing videos, it was right before I got monetized and I wasn't making very much. I picked up a title pack from Peter McKinnon, and it was like $50. And that's what, if you watch some of my older videos, you'll see, like, I used them for well over a year and they were fantastic, $50, and they were great. They only get you so far, but you know what? It's a great way to start. It's a cheap way to start. And it's fantastic for doing that kind of stuff. So there are cheaper ways than using Motion VFX, if that's what you're wondering. Steve Schnetzler, entertainment is great, but there's also some nice tech hints. Yeah, we like to switch it up a little bit, a little bit of tech hints and fun stuff with that. I love using the corn emoji on Slack. What is at work Slack? Oh, nice. Nobody understands it. Subway, back to the tuna sandwich then. For those Unix, Linux folks love corn jobs versus cron jobs. Nice. Would love to see businesses go back to just wanting profits. Yeah, you know what I mean? There's a certain line that I agree with. I mean, there's a certain line where it's like it's hard to monetize certain things, right? Somebody says something that's so far over the line, it's like, well, nobody wants to be associated with that perspective, and ads do kind of do that. But then at the same time, when you clamp down as hard as some of these places have clamped down, then you're just literally all you're getting is vanilla ice cream, right? Which is kind of stupid in itself. So swearing is bullshit. Aiden Wolf 2025. It's true though. I've literally sworn in every inappropriate situation that I know of. I met with a pastor, not a good friend, but a person that I lived on the same street. I'd talk with him. I'd drop F-bombs all the time. One of my favorites though is I got a friend, my kid's in synchronized swimming, and my kid's friend's dad and I kind of started chatting. He's a graphic artist, graphic designer, and he was going to be redoing the logo. He's gotten really busy. It's going to be happening. He's also going to be helping me start a lineup of clothing and stuff like that. Anyways, we started talking about logo designs, and I'm just sitting there chatting with him, and he's like, okay, give me some ideas of what we might go with the logo. And he's just jotting them down right on his computer. And I think we're talking for about half an hour. And then all of a sudden I see him turn around mid-sentence with me. He turns around and types in like the logos for somebody that's swearing, like the hashtag, the $. And I looked at him like, yeah, I swear a lot. He's like, yeah, I've noticed a few times, but he'd never swore. And then all of a sudden, like after a few weeks of hanging out with the guy, he's now starting to swear. And then he's like, dude, my wife's telling me I swear too much now. And I'm like, who cares? Your wife will get used to it. It's all good. See, I'm just a bad influence. It's all good. Dylan's like,
Speaking from experience.
Big Town Sports, gentlemen, hope you're having a great day. Yeah, it's pretty good. What's the experience you're speaking of there, Dylan?
What experience?
You said speaking from experience.
Oh no, just
the wrong people.
Yeah.
Do I swear a lot around you too?
No, I know it's always funny, right? When you're in the company of different people, we'll say, and just I don't know how different sides of you come out. You're pretty consistent. I can be wildly different from one person to the next, depending on what circle of people I'm talking to. So I go everywhere from, corporate executive to trucker, and everything in between that. And it's a shock if those circles happen to collide. I'll be at home with my partner, and she'll be just sitting, and I'll answer the phone from somebody, and I'll be like, "Oh, what the fuck's going on, bud? What the fuck you doing, you fucking idiot? Fuck." And she's like, "Who are you?"
Yeah.
And I'm like, "Oh yeah, well."
Consistency is, I'm consistent. I do let certain things slide more. Like I don't joke around with my wife as much as I do other people. She doesn't like it when I do. But for the most part, yeah, I'm pretty much the same person to everybody I come across, which has served me poorly in the past, but whatever. Pavic Lazar, I know I'm mispronouncing that. That looks like it might be, I don't know where that's from, but I apologize if I mispronounced your name, brother. Would you still recommend buying Maono PD400X for USB use? Here's my problem, buddy. Go ahead, buy it. It probably sounds fine. I cannot recommend Maono at all ever again because of some really shady business practices that make me think that they care less about the actual review and making a better product than they do about sales. I would say Fafine, who I've experienced, had a lot better experience and has worked on things more. I would say Fafine is a company that if it ever came down to it, I'd be able to recommend them again. but I've dropped a lot of those just because it was incredibly toxic in my comments. People were like, I deleted a comment today that was one of the grossest things I've ever seen, and people were interacting with it. Like some of the toxic shit people come up with because they're unhappy with my reviews is absolutely ridiculous. But yeah, those are some of the most toxic, and I don't have time for it. And it doesn't make my channel any better by having it. So, but yeah, Maono is one of those companies that I'm going to struggle to ever be able to put my back behind. And yeah, so, but you know what? I mean, you're probably going to get an okay sounding mic if that's what you need. Jerker, hello, spending some time with friends right now, just here for the weekly name mention. Hopefully next time I can interact more. Dude, that word has been the least of our concerns this week. Yeah, cheers, man. Hopefully you can come back here as well. DJ Play Nice, gotta roll. Y'all be safe, have fun, take care of your crew, and rock. Cheers, brother.
Cheers.
Motion VFX stinks. They moved to a subscription based on their new stuff for Final Cut. Really? I actually haven't had any problems getting their stuff. Yeah, maybe it's only their new stuff.
I've just bought 2 packs from them in the last couple of weeks, and I have no issues.
Yeah. If it does turn into that, I'm going to be pretty pissed off. I'll just move services. I like Motion VFX for what they have, but I mean, like the needs for a review channel are pretty specific. So I don't buy a lot of packs, but I'm trying to integrate more shit in just to kind of keep those greedy eyes happy, if you will. Go get an XLR mic and a nice interface. USB mics blow.
Yeah, they do.
Yeah, you know what I mean? I'm trying to be nice about it because I understand that not everybody's coming at it from the same level that we might. And I really tried opening myself up to that and being as open and as honest about that stuff as I could. But, you know, I mean, people just bias confirmation. That's all they want. They just want to know that they made the right choice, and they get mad if they don't hear that. So yeah, whatever. You're not wrong. Like that Maono PD100X was one of the biggest pieces of trash I've ever put my hands on. And I think I actually threw it out. Like I wouldn't even give it away.
One of the few things that you've actually gotten rid of without selling it.
Right. I think the USB mics have come a long way nowadays. The MV7 Plus is really great. The USB Rode Pod mic is nice too. Yeah, USB XLR mics. I think the last really big USB mic releases were the Rode X, XCM50 and XDM100 and the Sennheiser Profile. But you're going to notice that those were the last ones. USB is being largely ignored now by a lot of people. And that is because there's only so much you can do with it. Like after Rode and even Shure with the MV7 and MV7 Plus, the programs that they released along with them, what else are you going to expand on them with? Like you can't get a better sounding USB mic than like the XCM50 sounded fantastic. The pod mic sounds great in USB mode. I don't understand how you're going to get a better sound of it. So what else are you going to expand on? So I think the only thing going forward is going to be USB XLR mics. And I mean, that's why a lot of the cheap companies have been doing that. Got a MIDI keyboard for Christmas. Ooh, nice. Outsider Jess. Which one did you get? Let us know. DaVinci is still buying based. Yeah, DaVinci is one that I will dip into eventually. But right now, I really want to, if I ever outsource and have Dylan doing my editing for me, I will move over to DaVinci just to make it easy. But for the most part, I'm going to stick with Final Cut Pro for now. It's like also a cheap program.
Yeah, I like it. I like DaVinci. I think it's got a lot of power under the hood. Getting some VFX stuff is not as easy. Everyone obviously After Effects is kind of the standard for like most VFX stuff. You do see a lot of stuff for FCP. There is some stuff for Resolve. I found some stuff, but a lot of it is ported and not ported very well, I might add.
Yeah, even the Premiere stuff isn't ported all that well either. Like a lot of the Final Cut Pro stuff is really fun. And then you got the Premiere stuff with is very business-like. Yes. It's interesting. Like if you want the fun shit, go to Final Cut Pro. A lot of it is great. the PodMic USB is lit. Yeah, I agree. It's one of the best. The PodMic USB is one of the best USB XLR mics. I like it better than the Shure MV7. But some people are anti-Rode, some people are anti-Shure, which I find curious. But I mean, whatever floats your boat. They're both fantastic mics. More open to the USB XLR mics as they give you a path to grow. Yeah, and they also if you can make a USB mic sound great. Like the NT1 5th gen was one of the best mics to release. It's such a fantastic mic, and it sounds superb through XLR. And I know there's voiceover artists that use it. It's just fantastic. The Wave 3 is a decent USB mic too, basically a Lewitt 240 capsule. That's cool. Outsider Shure just made another MV7 upgrade where you can plug another mic into XLR port and it's an audio interface. Oh,
nice.
Cool. Got the Arturia Minilab 3. No, I got that one too.
Arturia stuff's good. Arturia stuff is their controllers are good.
All right, we're gonna have to pack her in a second. DaVinci Resolve Fusion is awesome. It's different but really cool. Yeah, I'm gonna start playing in it a little bit more when I have time. When you're in the midst of running a channel, I went from Premiere Pro to Final Cut Pro, and it took me about a month, but the workflows are pretty similar. There's a lot of similarities in the workflow. Final Cut Pro is wildly different, and there's a lot of things that I don't really have the time to. I want to, but I don't have the time. Like I would love to be prolific with all of them, but I just hit the road if you're not sure. My Christmas gift was not a mic. Got a Mez 109 Pro, and they're great. What's a Mez 109 Pro?
Weird.
That sounds cool. And Pigtown, the Shure MV7 looks really cool for the audio interface built into the USB mic with 65 dB again. Damn.
MV7i. Interesting.
Oh, that's with the. Oh, yeah. That's with their XLR interface. That is kind of cool. Mr. Fenn, can you talk about having 4 speakers and how to connect them to a Rodecaster video? Okay, well, 1 second. Just don't unplug anything when I pull it. So you only have a left and right with the Rodecaster video. So unless you have the best bet for having 4 speakers, like having multiple monitor mixes or just multiple monitors, is to have a monitor station. So Mackie makes one. Is it the Big Knob? Is it called?
There's a few of them. I have a PreSonus one. That's pretty good. I like it. The meters on it don't work anymore, but it's as close to a straight piece of wire as you can get, and that'll accommodate six speakers, and you can even trim them all individually, so you get your perfect volumes. But,
and if you want to hook up just multiple speakers for like surround sound, you're never going to get more than dual stereo. But yeah, you can hook as many, you can get some of those monitoring stations. I wonder how many you can get on a single monitoring station.
You could rig up if you were to get like a larger interface, like maybe the Scarlett, like the 18i6, the rack mount one. That's got like 8 analog outputs. Like you could rig that up for a surround setup if you wanted to. It would be a bit of a pain, but it's doable.
Okay, Mr. Fenn, actually, he said 4 speakers, but he meant 4 people speaking. Right. Yeah, so you plug in, you have to have another Rode interface, or you have to have USB. You'd only get one USB mic, so you need to have a Rodecaster Duo if you want 4. And you plug it into, I believe it's USB 4 on the Rodecaster video. Here, actually, let me see this.
Or buy a cheap analog mixer, a tiny little, and plug the main left and right into the Rodecaster video. Pan the Rodecaster video hard left, hard right on 1 and 2, and then you've got however many channels that board. That's what I would be inclined to do if you can get like a Rodecaster Duo to chain into it. That's a nicer solution. But if you're looking for a cheap solution,
you could run a Mackie Pro FX 12V2 or 12V3 with I think that's 6 channels.
Any of those Pro FX lineup really depends how many channels you need. But 4 mics, I would say it's quick, it's dirty, but it's not going to kill your
And
wallet.
cheap as snot. Yeah, like you can get some pretty decent.
Oh yeah, even like little like 4-channel, like they don't have faders, but they're knobs, 4-channel Mac or like Yamaha or Mackie or
Yep.
Behringer, or like they all make them. I've got a little Behringer one I actually just set up for like a kind of an entertainment, like a listening setup, just to have a bunch of sources together. They're good to have around.
Yeah, so and I mean, you can put as many as you like, or a duo. I mean, it all depends on what you want. I know a lot of people would like the whole spec'd out version with the actual duo, the Rodecaster Pro 2. I mean, sure, if that's your thing, you can have up to 6, 7, 8 mics on there, because you could have one USB mic on a Rodecaster Pro 2, one USB, the 4. And then that's 5 plus the 2, that's 7 plus one extra USB mic on the Rodecaster Video. I think you could pull that off. Maybe we'll try that one of these days, Dylan. We'll see how many microphones you can ram into it.
Yeah, well, and we'll see what the performance is like. Like let's spec this thing out to the max, connect all this stuff together, and see how reliable everything is.
SR375, or spend the cash on a Dante setup.
Yeah, honestly, like with the little analog board's the cheap end. Dante is by far the most flexible, but also the most expensive.
By a long shot. If you want to get crazy, find a mix with a ton of PFLs and use that as monitor mixes. Yeah, it's not a bad idea. Thank you. All right, guys. It's actually been just an hour one. We're gonna take off. I'm probably going to look at it. Stay tuned. We'll talk about the possibility. I'm gonna have to chat with our friend there that's planning to pay for Dylan's Way, Wilf. I'm gonna have to have a chat with him. That is just incredible. But we'll be talking about that a little bit more next weekend, and hopefully we can find out whether or not Dylan's going to be joining us in Las Vegas. That's really cool. Otherwise, you guys have yourself a great night, and we'll see you next week, next Friday.